hard work will not make you rich. I get driven nuts by the amount of gurus and influencers and whatever who want to brag and say, no one can outwork me, I'm the best in the world. So many people outwork me. I still make more money than them. There has to be something else.
You're working way too hard and it's what's keeping you poor. This chart shows that the wealthiest countries in the entire world also work the least. Holy crap, Myanmar, are you okay? And then there's Germany, straight up just chilling through life with one of the highest GDP per capita throughout Europe. Okay, wait, what about all the inspirational quotes over Instagram and Pinterest? Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work. In an ideal Instagram world, these quotes fit perfectly in a caption. They get you motivated and excited to bust out your laptop and start working furiously to move up the wealth ladder. But what if I told you that this is all bullshit? In 2017, a massive study revealed that only 16% of people who lived half their lives in poverty were able to move up the ladder by their late 20s. These numbers were based on individuals who were consistently working or attending school, so hardworking people. But only a few of them were able to get out of the hardest level of escape room.
One of the things that grinds my gears about a lot of the people that I see on Instagram that you probably see too is this whole no one can outwork me mantra. First off, it's objectively false because many people A, outwork you today, B, outwork you in the past, C, you haven't met everyone, and D, it doesn't fucking matter anyways. It's the same thing when someone's like, I'm the best. And to me, I don't take that at all. If someone's like, I'm the best, then why aren't you on fucking billboard? That's what the best would look like. Absolutely, you need to do the work. You need to put volume in. It's the only way you get better. But if you start claiming that you are the best, you cannot be outworked. You are making statements that you know are not true. Why are we bragging about work? Because work has very little to do with the highest levels of the game. Warren Buffett talks about if he makes 2 good decisions a year, he's had a good year. And so how is it that one of the best investors, one of the best business people in terms of measuring it by money, which is how you measure business, talks about how he does basically nothing, reads 5 or 6 hours a day, eats McDonald's, and makes a couple good decisions a year? How is it that that guy is making so much more money than the people who are bragging about the fact that they work so hard? Everyone only has the same hours of the day. Anybody who only sleeps 8 hours or only sleeps 7 hours and works the remaining of hours of the day, all of them would be tied for hardest working. So
my math professor told me one story that completely changed my life forever. If you go out in the desert in the middle of the scorching sun and you bring a shovel and you start randomly digging holes for 12 hours straight, have you worked hard? Absolutely, zero doubt about it. But are you any wealthier? People don't pay you for your hard work. They pay you to solve a problem. The more complex the problem is to solve, the fewer people who are capable of solving it. And thus those who can solve it can charge more money. Sounds obvious, right? But not many people, including myself, made that connection without actually hearing it out loud.
What creates output? You have volume of activity, and then you have the leverage of the activity that you're doing. That's what creates the total output. In order to do anything, you must do something. There has to be some level of energy that gets input into the system. Our activity, in terms of number of activities, is a very newbie measure of success in the beginning. Warren Buffett doesn't say, I sent 1,000 emails today. He doesn't talk like that. He's playing a different game. Jeff Bezos isn't like, woke up at 4 a.m. today. Now, mind you, I'm saying this as somebody who likes waking up early. We can't be as superstitious about what matters. Waking up early doesn't matter. Going to bed late doesn't matter. Not sleeping a lot doesn't matter. The few things that matter are the inputs that go into the system that have the most leverage to create the most output. Now, if you're a newbie and you can't get your ass off the couch, then by all means, figure out how to actually get your ass off the couch and do stuff. But then there's only so many hours, and so boom, and then very quickly you hit your capacity of work. Great, you've maximized that. Now what?
73% of Americans believe that on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to success, hard work is a 10. And this is one of the problems with measuring success in such a black and white terms. It creates this illusion where successful people are considered hard workers, but those who aren't are considered lazy. But this is the farthest thing from the truth. Is a single mother working 3 different jobs to support her children lazier than a CEO of a company making phone calls all day at his desk trying to figure out how to work Zoom? No, of course not. But it comes back to the desert story. Money comes from the specific value you bring to people. Sure, someone could be doing back-breaking labor for 12 hours straight, but is that a problem only very few people can solve? Probably not. An effective CEO can, however, close a deal worth millions of dollars with a 5-minute conversation on the phone. In the 1900s, after Henry Ford's revolutionary assembly line gained traction all across the US, we saw a huge boom in productivity. And with more productivity came a lot more money. So if you grew up during those times, you equated your wealth with the hours you put into the factory. There weren't a whole lot of jobs during that time, and in a factory, the more hours you put in, the more you were able to produce and the more money you made. But those days are pretty much long gone. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, manufacturing work has gone down tremendously, from 32% in 1910 to 8% in 2013, while other types of services and industries have increased. Listen, the US economy has grown exponentially since then, and now there are thousands of different paths to make money.
The point of why I hate the concept of no one can outwork me is that there are many ways to win the game. If you were to think about an amazing goal as a dragon to be slain, if you are familiar with video games in any way, when you create like a war party, you have a group of people that are gonna go on a quest. You don't just have 10 paladins or guys who just have shields and swords. So you've got a healer, a mage that's really good at damage but can't take a lot of damage. Then you've got a paladin who can't hit as hard, but he can take a lot of shots. You find people who have complementary skills. It's about organizing the pieces and how well they play together that ultimately determines how good the team is.
This is you. You're hard at work right now, typing away in the office. You go in early and work late to make sure your boss is happy. You go home and you sleep for 4 hours and then you go back to work to make your boss happy. You give up your free time to get more work done on the weekends to make your boss happy. What do you get in return? Probably the same fixed salary as your coworker Jacob. Although your boss may be grateful for all your effort, your boss is not giving you a raise every month. You'll typically need to wait till the end of the year for a pay bump that doesn't even keep up with inflation. But what if I told you that 0.5% raise at the end of the year might not even be worth it? There are a ton of downsides when you work for that hard for that long. The more you work, the more exhausted you become when you get back home, you have trouble sleeping, or you might not have enough time to live life outside of work. Keeping yourself busy all the time prevents you from thinking outside the box. If you're constantly stressed out, your mental clarity and creativity will suffer. And those two things, mental clarity and creativity, are the tools that you need to notice the problems that need solving in the world, and thinking of ways to come up with solutions to those problems. But hey, at least you're producing more in the office, right? Getting more work done, you old chap. Research found that increasing the workload from 40 to 60 hours a week did not produce an output of 50% or more, which is what you'd imagine would happen since you're working 50% more of hours. Instead, the actual output from those extra hours was only between 25 to 30%. Giving it all your effort at work all the time will eventually burn you out, make you want to lay on the floor, reconsider life, and daydream. You think, I'll just take a 1-week vacation and come back and restart the entire hard work cycle all over again. But imagine, what could you achieve if, instead of working those extra hours at your job, you instead went home and just lived? Or spent some time to think about effective ways to solve problems, start a new business venture, or learn to improve yourself. Any of these things would financially reward you much more than staying late at work to make your boss happy.
We celebrate a specific action like work when it's really just saying, oh look, there's a paladin who can take a lot of hits. Cool. That's not the only thing that's required to win. When people are like, I can't be outworked, you're bragging about the wrong thing. It should be like, I can't be out-recruited. I can't be out-managed. No one can build a culture like me. That's super high leverage across the organization. No one can lead like me, but no one can outwork me. It's just an irrelevant activity metric. I love working. I work all the time, but I would never claim that no one works harder than me. I tend to have very good leverage with the activities that I do. I spend tons of time writing a book, and that book prints and sells copies forever. It's a different way to play the game.
Pop quiz. What is the most valuable resource in the entire world? It's time. And just about everyone you know is trading this very limited resource of theirs for money. And here's why you won't get rich doing this exchange. Let's say you're being paid X amount for Y number of hours that you work. Cool. Unless you're Dr. Strange, you're limited by the number of hours that you can work. 24 hours in a day, assuming you don't need to eat or sleep, which I don't really recommend because, health. Second, there is a limit to how much someone will pay you for your skills. If you're a super successful doctor, sure, you might be able to make $3,000 per hour, but eventually you hit a ceiling because the market won't pay a higher price. Directly trading time for money makes very, very few people wealthy, which is why 78% of American adults live paycheck to paycheck, despite being the most overworked developed nation in the world. But here's the $1 million secret. The rich, they don't trade their time for money. Instead, they trade value for money. Value is easily scalable and isn't limited by the number of hours that you have in a day. Think about this dude, Steve Jobs. He created the iPhone, which made the company billions of dollars. Or Bill Gates, who revolutionized the computer. Or even this video that you're watching right now on YouTube. Instead of thinking, what is a job that you can work hard at that people will pay for, start thinking, what value can you provide that will solve a problem? It's a nuanced difference where instead of you directly trading your individual person, your time in exchange for money, you think of scalability. How can you easily create one thing that will provide more value to more people? Look, I'm not trying to say that hard work isn't important at all. Of course it is. Unless you're super lucky, wealth won't simply fall onto your lap. But it's time to realize that the mantra of hard work is all it takes to be successful and wealthy is wrong and harmful. Just because you're staying late in the office every day doesn't mean you'll be rich and successful. You need to work smarter to maximize your effort, your skills, and your value as much as possible to be wealthy and successful.